Hello and welcome. Today's date, that comes in that of Thursday, 13th day of February 2020. My name is Derek and this is the Money Charts channel where all bets, trades of the light, that's within each's own risk and their own reward. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. Okay. Start off with Bitcoin against the US dollar. Maybe we'll hit this inverted head and shoulders pattern. Maybe we will not. Before we look at patterns, this was that very interesting descending triangle that obviously broke down, and well, then the next one is left shoulder, which concluded with that interesting failed breakout. And there's the top of that left shoulder, and the failed breakout ended up having a multiple hit level in here. So this would be where the head would be, and the neckline as well. That's where we are right now. Price action is in here. So if you have a decent sized pullback, it's bullish. Well, it could be. If it goes like that, I mean, if it goes like that, doesn't mean it's going to make a rally back up to 10.2 or even stop going down. But with that being said, like if doesn't mean it's going to go down. That also means that doesn't mean that this is going to stop going up either. It could. And maybe it just even consolidates through time in here, and then it ends up breaking out later after the fact. But this is most certainly a key level. It represents multiple support hits. It represents the area of where the failed breakout highs were, and that's where it stands. Breaking out above it, then I'm looking for it to have a move up to its previous high. And viewing so just by looking at individual candles, we can see it's been just having a nice run with us. A few, not countless, count like 3 or 4. A number of corrections. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3. Now along the way within this run, we had this little bit of a correction here. And even now, this is like just a couple days of holding this last move higher. So that's a pretty bullish indicator, I think. I want to now move on to Bitcoin dominance because it's got an interesting look. And on the daily chart, every single candle is red, at least this month. This is January the 31st when it went up 0.36%. So concise down move, most certainly. We have this level of support that it endured throughout the latter half of 2019. Originally, it supported here and at 70. We resisted it on 3 different occasions. So the next level below that was first established at 68. It was downgraded, upgraded, it was changed, we'll say, to 67. After supporting it in October near Halloween, it had this failed breakout. Not really failed, I guess, but it came back down in here. This most certainly would have been the failed breakout, but it was tested in this area middle of November, and then back down again on this big red candle down day of January 14th. And instead of supporting it, it resisted it, congested at it for the first 3 days, trading above and below it. And then exitation of the 18, leaving this area of support. Again, that concise move has come into play. Now we're filling retracement, filling empty space from while we got this low here. And it's filled a little bit of it. Is this all it's going to fill? Maybe, and probably not. Or maybe it just fills a bit more, possibly. And maybe it comes down here and does like a 70-80% retracement or 100% retracement and comes back down, and it could even do more than that. When we take a look on the weekly chart, this is what I find very interesting, at least in what I was looking at earlier today. So what we see here is a market that was not in a downtrend, thus up and sideways. And then we have it leaving the 18 and a couple concise down moves after the pause. So let's just look back, and in here, anytime we see a lot of periods below the 18, it doesn't go well below the 18 here back at the end of 2018, start of 2019. In this spot here, it was in a downtrend. It went down below this level, but only for 2 periods. and after it was already down for several red ones in a row. This was just a decent sized down move already in a downtrend. And when we go back to this, this is what I'm referring to. That's very similar, I think, to this. And if it is, this would just be interesting, I think. But anyway, and then these numbers were so high, and you can say, oh, there wasn't as many altcoins. Actually, there's quite a few back in. Consider all things considered, there was a lot of choices in January of 2017. And did they ever skyrocket high, both against the dollar and Bitcoin altcoins? But this is March of 2017. This is when it all started, and well, this happened, meaning altcoins, a lot of new ones came in as well, but they just really went much, much higher in price action. The possibilities of these big moves and red candles like this can easily present itself, especially when it establishes a new trend in the down move, because it's obviously been an uptrend with a few higher lows from this point. And this might be making that next higher low. Maybe this is where it is. Maybe it comes down a bit further to 58, higher low to this, maybe. If it comes down to this level of 52, it won't be. It would be a matching low. And if it goes down to 46, it would be lower. Of course, that's obvious, but saying that if it does come in here, then it's okay. If you're looking for the big type of moves where altcoins have a big dartboard rally, which is where you're going to be going next on, it's got a dartboard rally means a break of this level of support and at least a retest of the area of this low of like 42 to 36. And if not even lower, possibly like 25 or 28. And then when I say dartboard rally, this is why I name it that, and I refer to the situation and such. A dartboard rally is when pretty much everything goes up. Keyword is pretty much everything. And as well, some coins are going to really overperform others in a great atmosphere of market prices going higher, and some will underwhelmingly bring positive results as well, and then the others will be pretty average and do well within, of course, a dartboard rally. I'm not the greatest at dartboard or dart players, darts I'm playing, but I am pretty okay. But if I'm throwing darts at this, I'm going to usually hit something more times than not. Yeah, the odd time, especially when I'm trying to hit a double, I'm going to miss this in here. I'm going to hit in here. And maybe sometimes I'll miss the entire board, but not often at all. Like, I'm going to hit something. Will I hit what I try to get? No, meaning, I'll just get whatever it is. Maybe I'll hit an 18 or a 6 or something, whatever it is I get. And that's the thing about cryptos as far as whatever coins you hold in the next little while, if there's going to be a dartboard rally, it's probably going to do pretty good. Now, before I go to the charts, I just want to bring something very interesting, something that I think is really fun if you're ever playing darts. And what you do is, if you're playing with a few buddies, is you take your dart and then you unscrew this part in here. Make it so that they can't see what you're really doing. So make sure. And then you want to talk to them really casually. Get yourself in a good position as far as where you stand and the direction of where you are. And then in a casual manner, because you've already taken this off, you basically throw the dart right at the person. Oh, it's really funny because how scared they get, and it's really cool. Now, interestingly, one of the favorite times I ever did that, it was like late at night, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was in the garage with, we're playing around, and all of a sudden a cat jumps up on the window at a pretty decent speed and with some voice to the cat's language. And well, that was even more scary. But that was just something I remembered, and pretty fun to do because it does scare people pretty good, but it won't hurt. When there's no dart, it won't hurt anywhere. Now let's move on to alts. We'll start off with Hedera hash graph. And on the weekly chart, there's not much data. In fact, I barely got the team, but it is attempting to break above it. However, let's just cross over the daily. This is Fibonacci. 23.6 down, 38.2, and 61.8. So it's broken down below the 23. It almost certainly hasn't hit the 38.2. So it looks like just by looking at this, oh, is it broken down below? Are we going to most likely pierce below and go to 450-ish area? Probably. And because I already looked at it, I think so, but we'll see. If we take a look at this on the single hour, it really you don't see any support here whatsoever. It's really odd because, yeah, there was Fibonacci. I guess there was Fibonacci here to support the first time, so never mind. Throw that out. But after supporting this the first level, what happened after the fact? Well, it made a lower high rally. And it did so over a good period of times. It made this high, a matching high, and pretty much another matching one, barely piercing above. And then for this low and this low, the must-hold area would have been around like 630, and it didn't hold it. It didn't hold where it came from. We can see it's broken down below this. So to me, this looks like it's heading down towards the 477 level. A little bit of support piercing above it on two different occasions before it fell near noon, and then again near 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Cincinnati, Ohio time. And what we see with this 18 on this time frame, 4 minutes. Well, ever since this high at 755, well, first of all, 755 down to 500. That's a loss of like 250 or 1/3 of its value, 33% down in like 6 o'clock to like 7 or 5 o'clock, so almost half a day. That's just how it goes. But within that half day on this time frame, what has it done within the 18? Well, here we have a neutral market unable to get above this resistance. Okay. Now we try to get above it here, barely getting above this, but it's declining. You at least try to flatten it out, but you can see it's not flattening it out too well because 2 red candles down and not able to even get above the lows. But here we go. Here's the flattening of it out. Yep, that happened there. Band flattening out. You're establishing, really testing this level of resistance. You even can see here the 18 average of lows starting to rise. Can you hold it? Of course, no. And you broke support. Okay, as it goes. And there you go. You come up to the 18. You resist. Exitation here at 1124 stamp. And down it goes for another leg. Okay, there we go. Now another attempt. This is 12:12 lunchtime. Price action piercing above the fib level. Manages to flatten out the band, establishing resistance, but not getting above what it did at 637. There we see it leaving the 18 here at 1324. Matching this low. This time we were resisting close to the area of support, even not quite. I mean, resistance would have been at like 616. It only got up to like 612, but even still not able to get above the 18. And there we go. Now we go below the 18, and we're breaking that key fib support and resisting on decline here. Now it goes up to the 18, but I mean, it's not even close to flattening. That's what we need to do when it's down like this. And just a serious, concise, decent-sized move down and piercing above, of course, forward change, but 500 even near it goes. And there we have it. Now this decent-sized move that flattens out the band, and even in a degree looking to attempt to build up a rally. 18 average starting to build higher. Now this is big because if this, after a decent amount of periods, is able to get above this level of resistance, it's almost a surety that it's going to at least go to 581. But since it's had this type of move and this type of atmosphere breaking down below this, and if this thing doesn't hold and you see weakness, and you're like well, it's even like 15-minute time frame, I'm going to be like, okay, if I see this leaving on the 8 down here, then yeah, I'm going to be thinking that pierce below 477 is going to come in. And as a trader, of course, I say that a lot as a trader because pretty much that's what I am. Buy low, sell high, and this thing was going down, and so I got more. And then we had this nice little rally. So February 11th, February 12th. If I look at my log book of trades, I see a lot of sells of H-bar on 11 and 12, 211. Do I have any trades of Hedera Hashgraph for February the 13th, which is today's date? I do have 2. Buys. I've bought in it twice. I trade this against 5 different things. 5 different things I'm ratio trading it against. Which means 2, and I sold multiple different times on all 5 of them. 2, 3 times. In some cases, maybe even 4, but I don't know about 4. But 2 or 3 times on everything. Sell in here, sell up here, all that fun stuff. And the 2 that I did sell it against was, one was against LITECOIN. And I'll put up the ratio for, no, I didn't. That's what I'm waiting on. No, it was Hedera Hashgraph traded against Theta and Tezos. And first against Tezos, I got 60 on my last trade on the way up. So I pretty much got the top. I had a note, don't trade it unless it's over 55. So when it broke above 55 here, I said, yeah, I might as well take it. And it was one of those interesting ones because yesterday, it was frustrating. What happened was, and it makes sense to be around this time because I took an afternoon shower and I'm thinking, oh, here we are up in here. It was like, do I sell some Tezos and buy H-bar? Because I traded down here at like 40. So I hit the 40 number. And then do I trade here? I said, I want to get over 55. I can get here, but I was actually thinking I can get up to here. I was thinking at that time, I think, well, I'll just come back and it's going to be 58, 59, 60, and it's going to be all good. And then I come back and it's like 49, okay. And then I see it go through, and then later last night it's like, man, you see it breaking down. It's like, that sucks. But you know what? I got the trade in as far as that is concerned. We look at this on the daily chart. Volatility is really the name of this game. You got mathematics that state that this was 23 and change, and mathematically this went up to 150. Only price pays in this game. So just in my last two flips, I had a good handful of both coins that I gained. Some extra Tezos, some extra H-bars, and well, really that's the whole plan of just putting these things together. After all, say that I want to be like, yeah, I just want to have these coins, I want to hold them, and I just want to wait for a long time and then sell them when they're good, the getting's good. Okay, well, if that's the case, why not just flip them back and forth? I can move them in wallets as need be, and it's just all that kind of fun stuff. But when you look at the percentage moves here, this was down 38%, and the next day was down 44%. That's just how it goes. Theta, let's take a look at that one. And I didn't get as good of a deal on this one. I got 285 on the way up. This is a daily chart. It looks a little weird like this. I don't know if really that's, yeah, definitely now. But 285 is a number that I got on the way up. And I don't think I got anywhere near the 175, but that is what it is. However, this thing left the 18 average at 6 and change. And then it fell down to 168. This is over 2 days. It's just how it goes. Hourly time frame. There's this big hour push down, 9 a.m. Yesterday morning. Breaking 6, going down to 3.5. And then concisely over a dozen, maybe a bit more, dozen and a half hours, a good portion of a day. Yeah, there's a move to like 1 2/3. It's pretty much doubled since that time. And it's only a small amount of retracement and filling that empty space. This thing could easily just shoot up to 4.5 and within 6 or 8 hours. That's possible. Especially, in fact, this thing, as I move to the next chart, has the potential to even break that resistance of 8. Why? Because Theta is in a very good setup. Let's look at Theta next, which is like right now. And it's in a very, very bullish situation. And a good day. You can see it's an up day because it's a little higher. A little higher was 26.44%. And I was actually going to make a video talking about this, expecting, yeah, there's a good chance this is going to happen. But really, what I'm saying, this is nothing for what I expected could possibly happen. When we look at what we're doing here, and I've talked about it before, which is why I didn't do it. Notice we were supporting this level of resistance. That means whatever. Maybe it means something, maybe it doesn't. We'll see. And the fact that it didn't resist this level of resistance, where it came from. Oh, so now we're at this little area. It should at least go up to this point where the upper end is like 1887. It hasn't been there. The lower end is like where we are. On a break, of course, of this resistance in here. But the empty space that this could fill and the potential that we 3x, 4x in 3 days or 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 4 days or 4 hours. And I don't kid not. I need not kid not even. When I say 4 hours, it can go 4 times or 3 times. It's not like it hasn't happened before. Here's that one time, November 30th, 2018. We started around 8. It ended at like 2, 3, or 4 in the morning. And it took several hours to get there, but not that many. That's got the possibility. When these things are ready to go, obviously are going to go. Now, the single hour time from 17:16. Oh, my goodness. I got to trade this soon, probably, but something. I mean, the hour time frame is super strong, so the fact that I see it doing what it's doing, I mean, this thing's got the potential to go. But you want to see breakout formation? Here we go. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. I think that this is like now buy kind of deal. Like I know Kramer used to have that little thing and go off, and as I'm doing this, the price action is going to be probably already broken out by now. But this also means as a trader, if this is a spot where like a day trade, this is a good buy. Why do I want to sell any pair tradings and ratio tradings and do any of that type of stuff when I know that this is probably I'm gonna get a better price if I wait. Like, what does this have the potential to do? We've had this resistance in here, and I want to draw some lines and go like this because I want to keep my fib lines in. I'm just gonna go like this. There's a reason for this. I'm not that good at doing it, but I'm gonna try the best that I can. Just draw over the 18 average of highs, but we can see how it's just breaking out so remarkably. It's that this thing is poised, I think, to have a spectacular time, a good day, very, very good. It's all right. With that being said, the line that I drew in here represents the 18 average of highs on the hourly term time frame, and I actually want to even do more shorter term. Yeah, that's what my plan was. So as it was doing it, from the high that it had, it comes down, it successfully corrects, obviously, and doesn't manage to, at least not until probably now, get this thing back and going, because it got here, but a lower high, this top, double hit high. It did support this rising 18, but not for long, and then it broke down. However, the support that it established at 1591, it supported several times and held and stayed above. And it did a lot of resisting here at like 1641. Now, as I can see here, it comes to this level, makes this higher low, and never since this breakout here at 1856 or 10 minutes ago as I'm doing this. Looking pretty phenomenal, 1744. I think this is a good time to end it because I might be, I want to see what this does to my ratio trades. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a good day. Bye-bye.